Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Zaft Lending Report. Today we're going to talk about our second part of the two-part series for appraisers. Kathy, what do we got going on today?
So we have Nelson Whitfield coming back again today, and we will be discussing ADUs, DADUs, and basements.
Hello everyone, it's Nelson Whitfield back with Pete Zaft Team. Just here to answer some questions about appraisals. Glad to be here.
So Nelson, now in the second part here, we wanted to talk about ADUs, DADUs, and basements and how that impacts value.
This has been one of the most interesting changes that we have seen around here in a very long time.
Yeah.
What's happened over the years, and I've been at this now for 40 years, and terminology in the same item has changed more for marketing purposes. You know, mother-in-law apartments have become accessory dwelling units, ADUs. Guest houses, pool houses, these sorts of things. Detached units are now DADUs, or detached accessory dwelling unit. Part of that is for marketing. Part of that is Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae actually defines those terms now. The reason being is they want uniformity in their models. And so if we all call these things the same, their computer model understands better, oh, this is what this is. Because what you call a mother-in-law apartment, I might call a teen suite. So they wanted uniformity of terminology. I've run into some where the guest house, the DADU, is as big as the primary house.
Main house.
And that gets really, really difficult because there you're basically just dealing with two houses on one lot. But as far as how do we value those, a lot of it depends on quality.
Right.
The higher the quality, the higher the value. However, you still want to stay in the market norm. What we're trying to find is what would the typical buyer pay for this property in this market. And so what you're really looking for is to find a market normal amenity. The closer an amenity like an ADU or a DADU can be to typical for that market,
right,
the more value it's going to have.
Now, what happens if the ADU or DADU is like in Smyrna, let's just say, not a common market?
I'm going to use an illustration that's going to make this easier to understand.
Okay.
Swimming pools. If you have the only swimming pool in the neighborhood, what you have done is you have narrowed your market because the typical buyer who's looking in that market is not looking for a swimming pool. I mean, your only buyers are going to be people who are looking for a swimming pool.
Right.
And if that's not typical in that market, you're going to lose value. The other thing you've done is you've created a maintenance problem. So there's work involved. And a lot of people buying a house don't want to deal with the work involved.
That in. Some people, I would imagine, think, okay, if I'm getting X per square foot in my primary house. Right. They do the math. It's like, okay, so I can add this many thousands of dollars because it's the same square footage, right?
Right. And to go further with that, what I see a lot of agents do is they'll take the DADU footage and add it to
the main house,
to gross living area. That's just very misleading. I mean, if you're not paying attention, because if you've got accessory square footage, it's not going to value the same as the main house.
Right.
It's going to be less. And all that is going to depend on how typical is it in the market?
Right.
What's its quality, finish quality? How big is it? All those other factors. But just like a basement, it's going to be less than the main house.
And speaking of, basements is another another area of a home that the value sometimes is not correct.
Basements create probably the most frustration of people understanding valuation of properties. And it has to have a minimum ceiling height to count. The ANSI standard, the national standard for counting square foot finished area. So you see a lot of basements that have an unfinished ceiling.
Right.
Technically not supposed to count as finished area.
They're thinking they're going to get extra value.
Right. Exactly. It's chic, whatever. I've done this a few times where the finished quality of the basement and the amount of it that is daylight above grade is equal to the above grade house. And I've counted it close to or as much as above grade. That's rare, very rare, because basement, it's cheaper footage. I mean, It's cheaper to build out. Typically, it's not as functional. People ask me all the time, well, what's basement worth? Well, that depends on a lot of factors.
Right?
Yes, it depends on a lot of factors. The caveat to that is we are trying to reflect the market. And if the market gives a lot of value to basements, then we need to reflect that. And so it's incumbent upon appraisers to do their analysis to find out, how does this market reflect to basement area? It is a thing now, to just paint the walls with exposed foundation. It's like, yeah, but ANSI doesn't consider that to be finished area.
Well, Nelson, thank you again for coming for our two-part series here on appraisals. We appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you.
So thank you for tuning in to our two-part appraisal series. We appreciate that. And Kathy, you want to let everybody know something for the summer?
Yes, actually, Obi and I would like to let y'all know that we're going to take a hiatus for the month of July and work on some great content for you in the upcoming months. So we'll see you back here in August.
Thank you.
Bye, Obi.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy July.